Welcome to Just Some Guy Trading with 2021 World Champion Trader Kevin McCormick. Hi everyone, it's Kevin McCormick back again for our Trader Outlook for the week of February 13th. This week we're going to have a quick overview on the S&P 500, crude oil, and then an update on the short copper, long dollar setup that we've been talking about for over a month. As a reminder, this is for educational purposes only. So, I've mentioned before on the channel, I'm a real trader with true audited results. I am in the Robbins World Cup of Trading contest again this year after taking 2022 off. And that trade of short copper, long the dollar was in place for the contest and moved me into the top 5 last week. I am now out of this trade. Still taking a close look at the dollar and the metals markets and where they could be going in the future. But as I mentioned on my Why Traders Lose Money video, this was a trade. I hit my profit targets and I am out of the trade. And so then for the rest of this week, we're going to take a look at the S&P 500 chart and a quick look at crude oil. So with that said, let's jump into the charts. All right, we're going to start off in the symbolic platform, taking a look at the S&P 500. I want to highlight a very interesting thing that I've noticed that a lot of traders, especially starting out, don't do when it comes to these major indices. And that's the fact that we have the SPY, which is the ETF for the S&P 500, the SPX, which is the index, and then we also have the futures contract, which I spend most of my day trading is the futures contracts. And we don't always get data that aligns up. So what am I talking about? Let's take a look. As I highlighted a few weeks ago, we were heading into this resistance that had been in place since September 12th of last year in the SPY. We did poke our head up above it last week, but we hit the sell 9, market reacted, and we're back below this line, and it's still acting as resistance. And you'll see here now that this 13 triggered a possible sell risk around 422. Keep that in mind as we look at these next two charts. The SPX, which should be most of the time be similar to the SPY, does have an identical setup right now. We have this combo 11 hiding back there. Same thing that happened and it dropped down. But where it gets interesting is futures contracts trade 23 hours a day. And you'll see here that when it was the futures contract, our actual risk was set up here at 4,208. Very similar to that 422 we just saw in the SPY. And you'll see here that last week, we held this resistance and never even came above it. This is a resistance level that I haven't heard too many people talking about. And I think this is the resistance we need to look at this week. We have major CPI data coming out in the United States and around the world that is going to drive markets. This move has been going on for a long period of time, dating back to the Santa Claus rally last year that we discussed. And, this is going to be very key this week. If we break through this in a qualified breakout, then we could be looking at the start of a next bull market. But, it's starting to feel a little long in the tooth, and we may have a little pullback correction and some consolidation right here. So that's what I would say for this week. For anyone out there who's interested in trading the S&P 500 is watch out for consolidation and a pullback right now, depending on how the CPI data goes. So one last chart I want to show everybody is I want to talk a little bit about crude oil. So let's jump into that chart and we'll move over to TradeStation. All right, and now we're looking at the Williams True Seasonal on the crude oil market. About a month ago, I discussed how I thought we were looking for a rally into 2023 of crude oil. And then we'd have this area of consolidation. That has come to play almost exactly. And I think right now, Russia kind of started a little early last week by saying they're going to cut by 500,000 barrels. But we are set up, in my opinion, right now to start the 2023 crude oil rally right on schedule using the True Seasonal here on the daily chart. You can see here that we should have a nice move higher and break out of this area of consolidation. We really haven't been able to get above $82 in crude oil. And I think here over the next couple of weeks, we're going to hit that time and crude oil is going to start their move higher, especially if China reopening If we don't see a move higher in crude from the demand coming from China, the only explanation I really can come up with is possibly that China is now buying oil directly from Russia. We'll see if that starts hitting the media a month from now. But right now, folks, I think there's a low end for crude oil, and we're going to be looking for a move higher here over the next 2, 4, maybe even 6 weeks. It was short and sweet this week with the weekly update. If you appreciate my content, please subscribe and like. We'll have more great content coming out every week. Thank you.